and welcome to Go Island from the Crofton Community Seawalk. I'm standing beside the memorial pole, which has been placed here in honor of those who have passed and those who are living. And today we'll have more Native history for you as well. Welcome to Go Island, Cowichan Valley. On today's show, James Green takes us to Salt Spring Island to learn more about the island's film festival. And we'll share some insight into the story of the Cowichan Valley Métis community. All that and go for gold on Go Island, Cowichan Valley.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network.
This is such a treasure trove, the Cowichan Valley Museum and Archives, and I'm with Kathryn Gagnon, who is the curator. Hi, Kathryn.
Hi, Daphne.
You always do such a great job of introducing us to history, and there's an interesting place to start. That's a launch that's coming up. The launch of Those Island People, which is a new book from the award-winning author Lynn Bowen, and includes such interesting stories about people that perhaps we don't always know have been a part of Vancouver Island history, gold seekers and missionaries and gamblers and former slaves. So tell us about the launch and a little about the history of the book.
Sure. Well, the launch is on February 20th at 12 o'clock here at the museum, and it's an initiative from the Nanaimo Museum, and they contacted other museums like ours and said, do you have a story or two that you'd like to contribute? And we said, yes, of course, we always have a story. And our story is about Mayor Ragg. He was a very colorful person. When the Queen was coming through on one of her tours, Duncan was not a part of the agenda. He wrote to Buckingham Palace and said, we want the Queen here. And they said no. So what he did is he created, he blocked the highway so that their car was forced to stop on the highway. So very strong-willed.
Wow.
What a great story.
What a wonderful story that is. I wonder what year it was, but we'll find out if we read the book. That's what we have to do.
There you go.
So Lynn Bowen is quite well known to a lot of people for columns that had appeared in the Times Colonist, in Victoria's Times Colonist. And she's got a fascination, like you do, with people who have carved and charted our history on Vancouver Island.
And the work that Lynn does is so helpful to people like me who are doing research, because she does a lot of the research herself. So you can go to Lynn and say, well, what do you know about this? Because she's just such a great researcher and a great writer. And so now she's taken this original column that she did about 10 years ago and has doubled the amount of stories and included them in this book. So I think it'll be great.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, there are so many pioneers as well on Vancouver Island. It's likely that people will find relatives in this book.
They could.
And
gold diggers.
Or gold diggers.
Gamblers.
Neighbors. Veteran soldiers as well. We've got quite a military history.
Well, here in the Cowichan Valley, right next to us is Charles Hoey Park, and one of the very few people to receive the Victoria Cross. So we have a very distinguished military history here.
Yes, and I know that Charles Hoey Park is well known, but sometimes people don't think about it outside of November 11th. So it's really important to remember the history. So once again, that launch is coming up here at the museum on Thursday, February 20th at noon. And tell us about Heritage Week, because this connects with water. Water's become a huge issue on Vancouver Island over the last couple of years.
Every year, Heritage BC promotes a particular theme, and this year it's called Heritage Afloat. And while we're not on the water, we do have a lot of amazing artifacts and images of boats in the Cowichan Valley and stories related to water. So we're taking this opportunity to take things out of our collection, out of storage, and put them on display and tell some of these amazing stories and show some of our images.
I can hardly wait to see those, because there's so many waterways, great rivers, great ocean front.
That's right.
February 19th to March 15th is the time for Heritage Afloat, and that's a good time. Starting out the spring season, because a lot of people will be getting out on the water soon. It's kind of nice to look back in history and see where those really important waterways are and what they mean to our culture now.
In so many ways, they're important.
Exactly. We have more to tell you as we continue through the program. There's lots of things going on here at the museum, and just before we go, a chance to volunteer here. We met a volunteer the last time we were in the museum. Is it a great place for people who want to learn about history and those who are curious? I'm sure it is.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, people, well, I think they love history. They love that aspect, but although it's quiet right now, it's very much a people place. So many people come through, and our front desk volunteers absolutely love meeting people from around the world and talking with them. So yeah, so there's all kinds, and then there's other people who like to be buried away in the archives, don't want to see anybody. So we have all different kinds of positions to suit different kinds of people.
I have to say, the last time we were here, I think there were some people here from New Zealand. They had that great sort of, well, I won't even try to do the accent, but it was wonderful to meet them. And there was another person from France who had stopped by. So as we know, the museum and archives are on a well-traveled area here on Canada Avenue, easy to find.
Yes.
And of course, we'll talk in a little bit about the heritage aspect of the whole area here.
Great.
But next, we're going to travel to Salt Spring Island. The 15th annual Salt Spring Island Film Festival is just about to begin, February 28th to March 2nd. And James Green had a chance to catch up with a homegrown filmmaker. We'll find out about that contribution after the break.